Alright, hello and welcome back to another Classic WoW video. So in this one I will talk about how I would invest 1000 gold in Classic WoW right now to make profit. This is something that has been suggested to me on my Discord channel, and if you have a topic you want me to cover, or a video you want me to make, feel free to join that Discord channel through the link in the description and join the conversation. As for video ideas like this one, you can find a text channel called Content Ideas, where you can let me know what videos you want me to make. So this topic is one I think is highly relevant to my YouTube channel, and to me personally, since most of my gold in Classic WoW has come from investments, and investing is something I'm really interested in. I am very much a fan of having a certain amount of gold and turning it into more gold, as you are basically printing gold. So today I will give you a couple of different scenarios of how I would invest 1000 gold right now to make profit both short term and long term. I will also give you timestamps in the description, but with those timestamps you can also just check the timeline on the video if there's a specific method you're looking for. For example, one method might cover how I would invest 1000 gold to make profit in a month or two, while the other method might cover how I would invest to make profit in phase 6. My goal here is to highlight multiple ways of investing, so hopefully you find one you like and one you think will work for you, as different strategies work better on different servers. It's also a lot about timing, so make sure you buy and sell at the right time, which I will cover in a video next week or the week after that. So let's just talk about it, shall we? The first way I would invest 1000 gold right now is in phase 5 consumables to sell on release day and the first couple of weeks of the raid actually being open. Prices usually spike on launch day, as well as the first raid week. Items like Elemental Earth, Firebloom, Firefin Snapper, and Large Brilliant Shard has already seen a small spike in price after the announcement of phase 5, but I still believe you can make tons of money on them. However, I would put most of my gold into Firebloom, Firefin Snappers, and Large Brilliant Shards, with about a 50-50 split in between Large Brilliant Shard and the other two, since I believe Large Brilliant Shards will see a significant increase in price because you no longer get them from disenchanting epics. They are also used frequently in consumables like Brilliant Wizard Oil, which is basically a temporary enchant to your weapon, or a weapon coating if you will, which increases your spell damage and your crit rate. This will be used a lot by casters, but remember that each oil has 5 charges. Large Brilliant Shards are also used in some new and old enchants, all of which will be relevant as people will be enchanting their new pieces of gear. Firebloom and Firefin Snappers are also used in phase 5 consumables, as specifically the Elixir of Firepower, basically the spell damage elixir for fire mages. And Firebloom is also used to craft the Brilliant Wizard Oil that I just mentioned. Basically, all of these items are frequently used by casters, especially in raids and especially for parsing, and as we have already seen, people are willing to pay gold to parse higher. Also, it feels good to deal a little bit more damage. This is probably the easiest and most secure way to invest that 1000 gold if you want to ensure profit, but you're not gonna make anything insane. I would estimate that this late into Classic and this late into phase 4, and with phase 5 being announced as well, and since some items have already gone up in price a bit, you will most likely turn that 1000 gold into about 1500 gold, but that's still a 50% profit, which is fairly good if you ask me, since all you have to do is buy and resell, and it's only 3 different items, so it's very easy to keep track. The second way I would invest 1000 gold right now is in phase 6 consumables. This is even more safe than the previous method, however, you won't get your profit until probably 6 or 7 months from now, perhaps even longer as well. Basically, you won't make any profit until phase 6 actually comes out. Phase 6 consumables, or phase 6 investments in general, are so many different items that I'm actually just going to recommend you watch my phase 6 investments video on that subject, as I cover it all there, and there are tons of consumables needed inside the raid. However, since this is classic, some of them will probably not be required for some of the most hardcore guilds, as you could potentially cheese some bosses and skip some mechanics, but basically you need a bit of everything. Fire protection, frost protection, shadow protection, nature protection, you name it, you need it. You also have items required to obtain your set pieces like Arcanite bars, Mooncloth and Cured Rugged Hides, but once again I talk about all of this in the Phase 6 investments video, so I'm just going to recommend you watch that one if you want the full story. For the short story, invest gold into elemental water mainly, but also a bit into Fade Leaf, Grave Moss, Elemental Fire late into Phase 5, after people have been transmuting a ton, Elemental Earth if they become dirt cheap for some reason, and invest some of your time into leveling alts to 35, and pick up tailoring and leatherworking to make Cured Rugged Hide and Mooncloth on cooldown for passive gold. That's it really. I would estimate that if you play your cards right here, you could turn that 1000 gold into 3000 gold, but if we're going to be realistic, let's say 2000 gold. That is still double your investment, and you're doubling your gold. Printing money, baby. The third way I would invest 1000 gold right now is thinking outside the box and investing into specific items that could be upgrades in Phase 5 or Phase 6. This is high risk, but it's also high reward, and if you play your cards right, you could potentially turn that 1000 gold into 10,000 gold or more. For reference here, an outside the box investment I did back in the day was Hammer of the Northern Wind, which I bought for 25 gold. I recently sold one for 290 gold. That is 12 times my invested gold, and if I invested 1000 gold into those hammers, and I sold all of them for this price, I would be sitting on roughly 12,000 gold right now from that 1k gold investment alone. Other examples of items like this could be sliver blades, as they are used for the same reason as the hammers of the Northern Wind. Or you can also think about items needed for the Scarab Lord questline, as that is something that a lot of other investors and players might not think about investing in. Personally, I have invested in Azeroth diamonds at 2 gold each, because even if the investment goes south, I will get half my gold back just from vendoring them. That being said, I have already sold 10 of them for 50 gold, or 5 gold each if you want. I sold them in stacks of 10 because there were a couple of dirt cheap singles on the auction house, but if somebody wanted to buy multiple diamonds, they would have to buy my stack of 10, since there were only about 4 singles up, and they were valued at 2 gold 50 silver each, so I put 10 of them up at twice as expensive. Another semi-out-of-the-box investment I did a while back was the Elixir of Poison Resistance, which I bought at an average of 6 gold each, and very recently I sold one for 60 gold, so I'm really happy with that one. Another outside-the-box investment I did a while back is investing in lifestones. My main reason here was that I thought, and I still think, that epics obtained prior to Phase 5 will disenchant into large billion shards, and epics obtained after the release of Phase 5 will disenchant into Nexus crystals. Now I bought these lifestones way back around the release of Phase 4, and I bought them for 14 gold each, and I believe that once Phase 5 comes out they should go up to meet the average cost of the Nexus crystals they would disenchant into if they were obtained in Phase 5. Actually, even now, the average value of lifestones on my server is about 25 gold, so even if I sell them now, I will still make profit, but I think it will be easier to sell them once epics start disenchanting into Nexus crystals. Here's the thing though, this last investment is a bit shady, because I am basically selling them not knowing whether or not they will disenchant into Nexus crystals or large billion shards, because these epics were obtained before Phase 5, so I'm basically risking ripping someone off, unless Blizzard makes a blue post about it. If anything, I might just end up keeping them myself until I know for sure they disenchant into Nexus crystals, or I might try to trick some fool on the auction house by selling them. Either way, beware of buying epics on the auction house in Phase 5 until Blizzard states whether or not epics obtained before Phase 5 disenchants into Nexus crystals, because some players might put up some cheap druid pieces and if they disenchant into large billion shards, you basically just got screwed. There is a fourth way I would invest that 1000 gold as well, which is basically hunting frost resistance gear for phase 6. Look for any BOE item with high amounts of frost resistance, buy them as cheap as possible, and you'll be making a decent amount of profit once phase 6 comes out. The most popular piece is rings with frost resist on them, but look for any type of armor with a somewhat high amount of frost resist, and you're good. The fifth way I would invest my 1000 gold right now is into Mooncloth or Felcloth to craft into Mooncloth if I have several tailors. Maybe even invest some gold into leveling up tailoring on an alt just to make Mooncloth. Because in phase 6 every caster will need Mooncloth to obtain their tier pieces from Naxxramas, as you get a tier token which you need to turn in, along with some items to actually receive the item. I cover exactly which items and how many are needed for every single class in my phase 6 investments video. Alright, there it is guys, a couple of different ways I would invest 1000 gold right now, and honestly I probably am going to invest some of the liquid gold I currently have into some of these things, and I have already invested in a lot of them as well. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like it, I will put my 2 most recent videos on the screen right now so you can give those a watch. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons for the massive support. You guys are legends. Make sure to slap that like button and subscribe to this channel as well for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.